Hello everybody. This is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today we are going to work with Delphinium. Delphinium is in the larkspur family and it is July's birth flower. So I thought we would make a beautiful arrangement using some Delphinium. We're starting out with a container that's kind of deep. It's got fresh water down in the container with a little bit of fresh flower food. And I thought we would work with a pincushion frog. Now, a pincushion frog was used in place of fresh floral foam back in the day. And all these are just little pins that are sticking up. I don't even know how many pins might be on this one. A good many. It's pretty heavy, so it's weighted, and it will sit right down in the bottom of this container. And then what I will do is take each flower, I'll cut the stem obviously, and then I will press that flower right on to those pins, and the pins will just hold the flower in place. Now, this is an arrangement that you don't necessarily want to deliver. You would want to make this and use it at your home or at someone's home. You would probably make it there versus make it and try to deliver it. I'm just going to take this frog and set it down into the bottom of this container. Now, there is a sticky type putty that you can put on the bottom of the frog and stick it to the container when the container is dry, and then fill the container with water, and that holds really well. I don't happen to have any of that in, but I'm gonna get it ordered so I can show you what it looks like. I'm gonna just drop that right down into that water. And we are going to start by adding our Delphinium. So I was doing a little research. Larkspur is the annual form and Delphinium is the perennial form. They are both in the family, and I cannot pronounce the name of the family. But they're both in the exact same family. One is just the annual and one is the perennial. I prefer Delphinium over Larkspur. They're both spiked flowers. They both come in about the same color scheme. I prefer Delphinium because Delphinium is sturdier. It's a much sturdier flower. I'm gonna have to cut it not so at an angle. It's a much sturdier flower than lark is, and so that's why I prefer Delphinium over Larkspur. It's got larger blooms. It's just a much showier flower. So I'm taking each of these stems and cutting them and pressing them right down on to that pincushion base. I'm using my floral knife. This is my favorite floral knife. I actually ordered it on Amazon, and it's a folding knife, so it is a wonderful little paring knife for floral design. I'm taking and removing any of the blooms that might be broken. Sometimes those little blooms break, and so I'm removing any of those blooms that might be broken. But I am just taking each of the flowers and pressing them right down onto that little, and you can see it holds them upright. I'm using blue Delphinium, and then this is the white variety. It's a little bit of a smaller stem. And sometimes it takes a little bit of work to get them all to stay in place, but you'll just slowly work them into place exactly where you want them to be. I also love the thing about Larkspur that I really like a lot is that Larkspur often keeps their little buds, and they have little shoots, and I love that. But it's a really pretty line flower that comes in a lot of pastel colors. So it comes in pinks and whites and blues and lavenders. But you see how simple this is, yet still very pretty. Next, the last color I'm going to use is this pretty lavender or purpley color. The colors. Now, the one thing you need to know about Larkspur and Delphinium is it's toxic. It should not be ingested by humans or animals, so you want to be careful around your animals, especially if they tend to get into your flowers and want to snack on them. Always be extremely careful with fresh flowers, and be sure to do research before you use those flowers at your home. Now, I am very blessed. I have lots of critters, but I'm very thankful that none of them meddle with flowers. I've never had any issues with any of, and I have 3 cats and a dog, and no issues with them trying to snack on my flowers or my plants. I am going to take my knife, and this is called lemon leaf salal, which is just a pretty greenery. So I've got lemon leaf salal that I am going to cut with my knife and tuck all the way around this edge. Now, I am not worried about trying to get it on the pin cushion itself. I'm just going to take it just as if I'm using it in a regular vase arrangement, and I am just tucking it all the way around. So I am, again, just going all the way around and adding greenery. Now, don't forget that you can absolutely use any type of greenery you have growing in your yard. It's not necessary that you use store-bought greenery. This is lemon leaf salal, but I could see using Nandina, Iliagnus, just anything that might be in your yard that's pretty, because it's free, and I am all about something that's free. All right, so there's our foliage. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some roses. Now, these are some roses that I've had in my cooler. They're Amandala is the variety. I'm just going to take my finger and I am going to run it into this rose. I'm going to blow it to kind of open it up. I just want an open bloom, so I just kind of opened it up there. I'm going to take that knife, cut that stem at an angle, and I am just going to tuck these kind of all the way around the base. Now, they're just going to make a pretty display. Anytime you use roses, though, be sure that you remove any of the petals that don't look pretty. It's not hurting that rose at all to remove those petals. And I'm not worried about hitting that that little frog. I'm just sticking them, making sure that they hit the water. And I'm blowing it just to kind of open up those petals. I know I've had people in the past ask, why in the world are you blowing on that rose? And it's just to open up those petals. I love how that's kind of roughly, though. It's really a pretty rose. Just pull those petals. Always be careful, though, because you can break that rose. So when you go to stick your finger in there and kind of open them up, just try not to break those petals. But see how pretty those roses look? Working it through. And I'm leaving whatever, if the rose has pretty foliage on it, be sure to leave that foliage in place, because it's just added greenery in your arrangement, and it didn't cost extra for that pretty greenery. So be sure to leave that greenery on those roses because it's so pretty. I love that salal tucked in. But you see how simple and easy this arrangement is with just using 2 different varieties of flowers. A very simple yet beautiful arrangement. In my opinion, there's something about simplicity that really is so beautiful. The more simple, to me, almost the more beautiful. I used 3 different varieties of Delphinium, which was a lavender or a pretty purple, a baby blue, and a white. And then these are Mondale roses, and then our foliage is lemon leaf salal. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about how we do things here at Flowers by the Bunch, you can always ask. We would love to answer any questions you might have. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you all real soon. Thanks, guys.